Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Wednesday, March 13th, 2019. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. St. Kitts and Nevis has been excluded from the latest list of non-cooperative jurisdictions published on Tuesday, March 12th by the European Union EU Council for Taxation. In a press release, the Honorable Mark Brantley, Premier and Minister of Finance in the Nevis Island Administration, noted that after strenuous efforts last December by the National Assembly and the Nevis Island Assembly, which in an unprecedented move met on December 24, 2018, legislation addressing what the EU identified as harmful tax practices was adopted by both the Federal Parliament and the Nevis Island Assembly by the EU-imposed deadline of December 31, 2018. Until the EU announcement on Tuesday, however, St. Kitts and Nevis had received no formal response to the submission of the amended legislation. Premier Brantley says the fact that St. Kitts and Nevis is omitted from the blacklist is noteworthy because it means that Nevis, in particular, can now move quickly to preserve and protect its financial services sector by undertaking further reviews and amendments of existing legislation to undergird the Christmas Eve amendments. Premier Brantley says even as he celebrates the quick action of his cabinet and the federal cabinet, which prevented the reputational harm of blacklisting to St. Kitts and Nevis, he nevertheless renews regional calls on the EU to adopt a different and consultative approach to such matters. He reinforces that St. Kitts and Nevis is committed to the best possible practices on tax and compliance, but insists that global standards applicable to all countries, both developed and developing, on a level playing field basis has to be the preferred way forward. The annual Regional Carib Wave Tsunami Exercise is scheduled to take place on Thursday, March 14, 2019. Director of the Nevis Disaster Management Department is Brian Dyer.
It's where the islands of the Caribbean, North America, and the South and Central America countries would participate in an evacuation exercise to simulate an earthquake followed by a tsunami, which could impact the islands. It's an opportunity for the countries across the region to exercise their preparedness, a level of preparedness, and the communications between the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center and the Tsunami Warning Focal Point on each island, and also the communication between the Tsunami Warning Focal Points and the disaster management entities on all the islands.
Dyer also noted that the relevant personnel have already been notified.
We have contacted our stakeholders and members of the community from the area to the north, such as Patworks, Bricklin, Barnaby, right through the north, right through the southwest coast of the island down to Long Point. We have contacted all entities because we would like to see a larger participation this year as compared to previous years.
The scenario will involve an 8.5 earthquake occurring off the northern coast of Panama, generating a tsunami wave. The exercise is expected to take place from 10:05 a.m. to noon. Dyer is urging the motoring public to be mindful of the participants in tomorrow's exercise. As the highly anticipated Bank of Nevis High School's championship approaches, the organizers of the two-day meet at the Nevis Athletic Stadium are inviting the public to support the athletes who will participate.
The opening ceremony will be on March 15. It will start with a march through town, culminating with a ceremony in front of the tourism apron here in Charlestown. On the 16th and the 17th, that's when we will have the events, and the events for this year are the 100 meters, 200 meters, 400, 800, 1500 meters, 4x1, 4x4 relay, as well as long jump, high jump, shot put, and javelin, and the 1200 as well. So you're in for some exciting events.
The meet will be hosted by the Nevis High School's Championship Committee in collaboration with the Nevis Island Administration.
I'm delighted that it went so well last year that the Department of Sports has decided to bring it back in full and make it an annual event going forward. And I would only want to wish all of the athletes from the 3 high schools well. And let me just remind all of you that you're all winners, irrespective of who walk away with the championship trophy. I want you all to compete in a very friendly manner. And irrespective of who wins, you should always remain friends at the end of the day. And once again, and I would also encourage you to please respect the decision of the officials.
And the Ministry of Education and Department of Education, we have been working along with the Department of Sports in order that this event is very, very much supported from our end as well. It's an initiative, as I said, that is welcomed, because wherever we could have our athletes, student athletes on display, we would always be very supportive of that.
Title sponsor, the Bank of Nevis Limited, is providing funding support in the amount of $20,000.
I believe it's going to be exciting. I believe it's going to be very competitive. And I also want to use the opportunity as well to wish all the athletes the best.
I want to take this time out to encourage everyone, not only in Nevis, but also our families and friends in St. Kitts, to come over and spend the weekend with us on the 16th and 17th of March as we display some spectacular talent at the Mundo track.
Friday's opening ceremony will feature a cheerleading presentation by the participating schools, as well as performances by local artists Byron Messiah and Maida. The patrons for the March 16th and the 17th meet will be Tanika Liebert and Timothy Keynes III. The events will commence at 1 p.m. daily. The admission per day is $10 for children and $20 for adults. All proceeds will go towards funding the Charlestown, Gingerland, and Nevis International Secondary Schools' participation in the TDC Inter-High Schools competition in St. Kitts. Still to come, ECCB launches digital EC dollar pilot project. The details after this break.
The Ministry and Department of Agriculture presents Open Day 2019. It's Silver Jubilee. 25 years of feeding the nation. On March 28th and the 29th, 9 a.m. daily. Venue, the E.T. Willett Park. Under the theme, Think Climate Smart, Food and Nutrition Security and Sustainability.
Welcome back. In what is being described as an historic undertaking, the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, ECCB, launched its pilot for the issuance of a digital EC dollar at a media conference on Tuesday, March 12th. Governor Timothy Antoine said the central bank digital currency pilot involves a securely minted digital version of the EC dollar, which will be issued by the ECCB and distributed by licensed bank and non-bank financial institutions in the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union. The digital EC dollar will be used for financial transactions between consumers and merchants, people-to-people transactions, all using smart devices. The objective of the pilot project is to assess the potential efficiency and welfare gains that could be achieved from the introduction of a digital sovereign currency. The pilot will be executed in 2 phases: development and testing for about 12 months, followed by rollout and implementation in 3 pilot countries for about 6 months. Throughout the 18-month period of the pilot, there will be education initiatives to facilitate active public engagement throughout all member countries. According to Governor Antoine, the pilot project will be conducted under the supervision of the ECCB and within a controlled environment. Will have the appropriate safeguards to ensure the stability of the financial and monetary systems. In celebration of World Kidney Day, the Nevis Renal Society held 2 activities this week. One of the activities was a health fair which took place today, Wednesday, March 13th, at the Nevis Air and Seaports Authority NASPA facility for the employees, as well as persons who came to do business at the facility during the day. Public Relations Officer of the Nevis Renal Society is Florine Williams.
The theme for this year is kidney health for everyone, everywhere. So we're looking out for the general public to come and support the Nevis Renal Society, and we are encouraging family members who has someone with renal failure to come on board and help us raise funds to assist those with renal failure.
The other activity was a church service. Members of the Nevis Renal Society worshipped at the St. Thomas's Anglican Church on Sunday, March 10th. World Kidney Day is celebrated annually on the second Thursday in March. The Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris-led National Unity Cabinet has established a high-level advisory committee to thoroughly consider a number of proposals put forward by regional airline LIAT and to advise on the possible way forward. This commitment by the St. Kitts and Nevis government was made following a presentation by a 3-member delegation from LIAT during the Monday, March 11th cabinet meeting. Led by Diane Sherland, General Counsel and Corporate Secretary, the LIAT delegation discussed with the federal cabinet a number of matters currently affecting the cash-stricken airline. Also present were LIAT's Chief Financial Officer, Roger Inglis, and Chief Commercial Officer, Audra Walker. The high-level advisory committee will be led by Hilary Hazel, Financial Secretary in the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. It will also consist of representatives from the Ministry of Tourism, the St. Christopher Air and Seaports Authority, and the Office of the Prime Minister. That committee will be charged with considering all matters relating to LIAT and the proposals made during Monday's meeting. The major shareholders of the regional airline are the governments of Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Dominica. Increased efforts are being made to encourage other Caribbean governments to make financial contributions and to support the airline that operates 491 flights weekly across its network of 15 destinations. That's how we end this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, thank you for viewing.
At a loss as to what's going on in Nevis? Tune into NNC on NTV. Don't worry if you don't have cable either. NNC will bring the news to you wherever you are. Facebook and Facebook Live. YouTube and YouTube Live. NevisTVOnline.com. Roku app, NTV mobile app, Smart TV, Apple TV, and any other IPTV platforms. When me ANC and you ANC, NNC.